Brain is suffering from micro blackouts that he normally compensates for with physical skill. House ignores Dean Cuddy's warnings and proceeds with a high-risk imaging strategy. After cooling the patient's abdomen with ice water, he uses an MRI to scan the rib cage. Despite the danger of the metal fragments inside, when scans remain inconclusive, House proposes a lethal experiment. He will rupture the patient's heart. He instructs the surgeons to artificially increase the blood pressure to extreme levels. He wants to force the weak spot in the aortic wall to explode. In the operating room, the monitors show the pressure spiking. Suddenly, the aorta rips open, spraying the team with blood. They have 60 seconds to find a leak and stitch the vessel before the patient bleeds to death on the table. Under the pressure of the clock, the surgeons locate the hidden aneurysm and repair it. House watches from the gallery, silent as his team saves the man he nearly killed. House rides into the diagnostics office on a Segway, sunglasses on, and announces his immediate marriage to Dominika, a Ukrainian woman. He offers a ride on his scooter to whichever doctor provides the most interesting medical case. Professional duties become a secondary concern. House uses an MRI scan on a homeless man as a shield to evade work and focus on his wedding preparations. In his office, House and Wilson engage in a cold debate. House dismisses marriage as a sentimental farce. He presents the logic of a transaction. Dominika secures a green card, and House gains a live-in maid and cook, saving $33,000 a year. He takes his Segway into Cuddy's office to escalate the conflict. He demands she sign insurance papers to include his new wife. When Cuddy refuses and labels the marriage a fraud, House brings Dominika into the room with a gift of homemade cookies. He forces the hospital administration to acknowledge the legal union through sheer persistence. The final blow occurs in the hospital chapel. House seizes the space, filling it with expensive floral arrangements and catering. Wilson stands at the altar, officiating the charade. House and Dominika exchange vows in front of the entire staff. As Cuddy watches from the doorway, House maintains eye contact and says, "I do." He transforms a sacred ceremony into a public display of spite. The wedding ends with a kiss, officially weaponizing his personal life against his former lover. House waits at the prison gates as 13 completes a one-year sentence. He picks her up in his car, immediately pushing for the truth behind her arrest. 13 attempts to deflect, bluntly stating she killed a man. House remains unmoved. He begins a cold analysis of her past, focusing on her missing brother and the Huntington's disease they both inherited. He knows the official charge of excessive prescribing is a cover for a more deliberate act. The interrogation continues throughout their journey. House presents the facts he has gathered. Her brother's condition had deteriorated until he lost all control over his body and mind. 13 finally stops lying. She confesses to manipulating the prescription system to secure lethal doses of medication. She describes the final moments in detail. Her brother had a single second of lucidity and told her it was time. She hooked up the IV, pushed the plunger, and watched him go quiet. It was an act of mercy that the state defined as a crime. In the final moments, sitting in the car at night, 13 faces the reality of her own inevitable decline. House offers a grim resolution. He promises that when her own Huntington's symptoms become unbearable and she can no longer function, he will do for her exactly what she did for her brother. He will end her life. 13 accepts the pact and exits the car. The agreement is final. The doctor has secured her own executioner. Gregory House has lost the West Virginia All-County Spud Gun Competition to Harold Lamb for 4 consecutive years. He refuses to settle for second place again. He recruits his colleague, 13. Noting her past success in science fairs, they test a standard potato launcher at a lake. 13 inspects the hardware and identifies a critical failure. The device lacks a fuel valve and cannot regulate input. She dismisses the machine as garbage and begins a complete overhaul. In a motel room, the doctors transition into aerospace engineering. 13 proposes removing the combustion valve entirely. She replaces it with high-pressure PVC and utilizes pie tins to create a system capable of maximum velocity. House recognizes her expertise as she applies knowledge from her internship at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. They execute fluid dynamics simulations and physical modeling to calculate the potato's trajectory and compensate for windage. They are no longer building a toy, they are engineering a Sputnik. At the competition grounds, House confronts Harold Lamb. He intimidates his rival by framing 13 as the granddaughter of a legendary Russian physicist. While the amateurs rely on basic combustion, House and 13 adjust their launcher by 5 degrees to account for southeast winds. Their technical dominance is absolute. House completes the takedown by revealing a scandal involving Harold and the sheriff's daughter. Harold leaves with a police warning instead of a trophy. House secures his win through a combination of superior physics and calculated character assassination. House's diagnostic team enters a house buried under tons of domestic waste. The air is stagnant, heavy with the smell of rotting food and animal remains. The patient, a school teacher, is coughing up blood. The doctors find moldy bread and dead cats in the refrigerator. They initially suspect aspergillosis or toxic hydrogen sulfide gas emitted by the decaying piles. They treat the infection, but the patient's condition remains unstable. 13 returns to the team and begins an archaeological dig through the clutter. She ignores the surface trash and searches for the history of the house. Inside a locked box at the bottom of a closet, she finds a baby's romper. The team runs a full endocrine panel using a hormone analyzer. The results confirm a diagnosis of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome in the wife. This genetic disorder causes tissue fragility, leading to 3 secret miscarriages over the past 9 years. The hoarding was the psychological response to the physical trauma of losing her children. She filled her living space because she could not fill her womb. The husband discovers his wife has lied to him for a decade, hiding the pregnancies and the pain. He faces the reality of a house turned into a tomb and a wife broken by a chronic condition. The medical team provides the diagnosis, but the husband provides the resolution. He stays by her side, accepting the debris of their past to build a future around her illness. A 102-year-old man arrives at the clinic reporting fatigue and numbness in his limbs. His son demands a full battery of medical tests, but House dismisses the symptoms as the natural result of being over a century old. The son pulls House into the hallway and offers a cash bribe. He wants House to manufacture a diagnosis so he can legally commit his father to a nursing home. Moments later, the father makes his own secret offer. He pays House even more to tell the son he is dying, hoping to secure a private suite and escape his son's overbearing presence. House monitors the man's heart using an EKG to rule out basic cardiac failure. He then orders the patient to show his teeth. He observes that the dentures are severely worn and asks for the man's adhesive cream. House identifies the cause immediately. Zinc poisoning. The patient has been using a full tube of denture cream every day to secure his loose dental plates. The massive zinc intake has triggered neurological damage, mimicking the signs of terminal decline. House reveals the truth to both men, stripping away their lives. He returns the son's bribe and informs the father that he is not dying. There is no medical necessity for a nursing home or a private suite. House prescribes better-fitting dentures and a change in adhesive. The perceived death sentence is reduced to a matter of dental hygiene. The medical crisis is over, leaving the father and son to face their domestic conflict without the cover of a terminal illness. House and Cuddy walk through the parking garage, deciding to take their secret relationship public. They enter the Human Resources office to face a mandatory audit. The HR director presents a consensual relationship agreement, a love contract designed to shield the hospital from liability. They sign the documents while enduring invasive questions about favoritism and professional boundaries. House mocks the legal clauses, but the administrative reality sets in immediately. The tension shifts from the office to the ward. A patient requires a high-risk diagnostic procedure. Cuddy utilizes the hospital's management software